There's no handbook on how to be trans. There's no rule book. No single way to do it. Some people transition medically, some don't. Some can't. Some even never feel the need. And none of that makes someone more or less valid in their experience. Hi, my name's Abe and I'm a trans guy. I wanted to make this video to say to you that your transition doesn't have to look like anyone else's. It just has to feel like your own, like you're becoming your own person. I remember when I first came out as trans and I started this journey, I watched a lot of YouTube videos just like this, but instead of seeing that everyone was going through their own journey, I compared myself to them before I had even started. I remember comparing or dreaming that my body would look like theirs, that my experience was going to end up just like theirs, and that is absolutely not the case. Now, I'm a very, very impatient person. I'm quite fiery, so I'm a bit go, 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 get things done really, really fast. And I had that expectation when it came to my transition as well, wanting everything to happen yesterday, and that's just not how it works. Nor should it work like that, because you might find that your body in the long run happens, like it changes so fast, and your mind actually struggles to keep up with those changes. You struggle to process your transition. Because I was comparing myself to other trans guys, I then put a lot of pressure on myself. There's also a bit of pressure externally, but I mostly put the pressure on myself to magically turn into this cis-looking guy that had long hair and muscles and a beard, and that's just not been my journey. There was so much pressure and expectation that I built up in my mind, and it's really unhealthy. Now, through my transition, I expected to have long hair, have, luscious hair, big beard, body hair, magically grow muscles, and I found that that just wasn't the case. Instead, I've actually grown some chin hair, a mo. I've actually lost hair on my head, hence the tattoo. Building muscle, it does take effort. You need to go to the gym, and you just are never going to turn out how you think, and that's okay. Over time, I realized that every soul moves through this journey very differently, depending on the lessons that we need to learn. And that can be a hard pill to swallow because it's really not an easy journey to go through, but divine timing. There is no handbook on how to do this. There is no right way to transition. Some people transition at the age of 16. Some people transition at the age of 60. Some people never take hormones. Some people never have surgery. Some people can't take hormones because of medical reasons. Some people can't have surgery because of medical reasons. Some people know their identity when they're a friggin' toddler. Other people need a long time to process and make the decision later in life. I was 29 when I got my shit together and started my transition. And that is all divine timing. I don't know if I would have survived if I had done this earlier. It just wasn't my time. So being a little bit older in life, you have developed skills in survival. You've developed more of an identity. You have developed more strength. And lucky for me, I had all of those things at that age, and it was my time to shine. No matter what your path, whether you're 14 or whether you're 60, you are valid. When you make the decision to transition and become your true self, that's the goal in life. You are valid no matter your circumstance. A transition isn't just physical. It's emotional, and for me, it's been very spiritual. It's been a quiet remembering of who I am. Don't get me wrong, I don't solely identify as a trans person. That is just an interesting part of my story. But it's been like a remembering of why I am here, what I am supposed to do here. Now, divine timing is a thing. You don't just miss your moment. It happens when it's supposed to happen, and it happens when you're ready. We don't need to rush this. If I could go back and tell that slightly younger version of myself any advice, it would be to be patient. Now, it's easy to say that than to practice patience, but I would be compassionate and I would just remind myself to be patient. Your moment will find you. You're not behind, you're not missing anything, you are becoming. So if you're watching this and doubting yourself because your journey doesn't look like all the other people's journey that you're watching, well, this is your reminder. You don't need to prove your identity to anyone, and you certainly don't need permission to exist. You don't need to rush, you don't need to compare, and you certainly don't need to shrink. You are so valid, you are so real, and there are many people out there like me that see you. I see your truth, and I'm not judging you. I'm always going to hold space for you. You are exactly where you need to be. You're on the right track, and it's the right time. There's no right way to be trans. There's only your way. And your way is more than enough. I'd love to hear what your journey has been like. I'd love to hear your highs, your lows, and I want to thank you for watching this video. I'd love for you to follow along as I continue to share my story. Thank you.